There are two main reasons anyone should be purchasing the AirPods Pro 2. One, you have a death wish because the noise canceling on these things is absolutely insane. It's so good, it's scary. And number two, you just have a tendency to lose these things even when they're right in front of you and you desperately need the chime. What's going on, everybody? My name is Ismi Hongos, and in this video, the AirPods Pro 2. Are they a necessary upgrade from the AirPods Pro 1? And my overall experience using what Apple calls the best headphones they've ever made. What's the difference between the second and first gen AirPods Pro? Well, you can look at the lanyard first and foremost. That gives it away right away. There's also a speaker at the bottom, and sadly we still have USB-C. Another way to notice that the AirPods Pro 2 are different from the first generation is that you have to look at the very top. They changed the speaker from the first generation, which is at the bottom, to now at the top. Apple really plays a lot with sounds. It's used for Find My whenever you need to chime them. You place this on a wireless pad and there's a little chime that comes on. And when the AirPods Pro are placed back in their case. I get it that Apple's whole thing is to not be offensive and everything's perfect, but I really dislike the chime. I still cannot tell the difference between transparency and noise canceling, and the chime is just so boring and uninteresting. The AirPods at this point feel like their own distinct product. I believe that I should just be able to control how much noise canceling is activated. There's also no USB-C, which is pretty sad to me because I thought we were finally moving in the right direction, but the charging speeds are nothing to disappoint. And iOS 16 gives you more insight into the battery, and it also lets you know whenever they need to be charged, which is really great. And I also noticed this with the dynamic island. It gives you warnings whenever you're at 36% or 20%. Also in the morning, a nice little reminder whenever you're about to go to work. This is how much battery you have, so you can charge up for 5 minutes and hopefully you have a decent amount of battery for the rest of the day. These have a customized transparency mode, which is pretty freaking neat. When I first set this up, it scans around your ear, and I believe that it really made a huge difference between these two. But there's also noise canceling. The first time that I put these on, I actually thought that I was deaf for a second. I believe that the best case scenario is you need to study at a library, and these come in so handy. The worst scenario is if you're in a major city like New York and you're walking around with these. You're not gonna listen to any oncoming traffic or anything around you. Throughout my review, I used noise canceling less and less. I did use transparency mode though, which I never used on the first generation. I really started to see the difference between the models whenever I was going into the gym. With the H2 chip, there's more processing going on. And what Apple claims is that when there is a high frequency noise or high pitch, that they are able to reduce that and level it out within the headphones. So whenever someone would drop a weight or there were clinking and clacking, the first generation just felt like it was choosing at random and it was pretty sporadic. But this, it nails it on the head. If I were to just cover my ears because there was too much noise going on, it would be a very similar experience. If you gave me both of these headphones in a blind test, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference unless you place it with Apple Music and Dolby Atmos. It was very surreal to hear some of my favorite classical albums with Dolby Atmos on in the AirPods Pro. It just feels like I was hearing a plethora of different instruments that I never heard before. One of my favorite is Odessa, A Moment in Time. I think that's a perfect album to play with any new pair of headphones. And it was just an unbelievable experience to hear so many beautiful instruments coming out of these pair of headphones. And in that sense, I feel like I want Apple Music a little bit more. Another feature that I was very excited about were the gesture controls. But I was extremely disappointed when I actually use them in the real world. So you place these in. If you have a nice and dry head, that's going to be important. You place them in, since they are on the stem, by just pressing down, controlling the volume up and down, the headphones tend to fall out. Like, it's very, very annoying. It's easy for me to place them back in, but it just feels like I don't want to use the feature of the headphone is constantly going to fall out of my ear whenever I need to control the volume. The experience gets much worse when I'm running and sweating a lot. While these are sweat resistant, if I try to move the volume up and down and I'm sweating, these headphones are just goners and they fell out quite often. I thought that was the problem for a second because that's what Apple tends to tell everybody when something like this happens. I wish that they put them more around the top of the headphones, so at least that if I'm running, I can just, it feels like I'm actually just pushing them in. And so the question becomes, do you really need to upgrade if you already have the first generation? For me personally, I see it as this is your favorite ice cream, and this is your favorite ice cream with your favorite toppings. I personally lose my AirPods so much. I just lost them every single day and it would take me 20 minutes to look around. With this, I just chime it from my phone or from my watch, and that saves me so much time. The Dolby Atmos is also so good. Like, now I have to subscribe to Apple Music because the albums just sound so much better. These headphones are still really awesome. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Just get a bright case so you don't lose them. But I think that Apple did a lot of great things here. There are some improvements I would love to see in the future. Maybe more colors and a dedicated app. But let me know your thoughts down below. Are you a Gen 1 owner that's looking to upgrade? Or do you just not care on headphones? Are headphones to you? Make sure to follow me on Twitter as I keep the conversation going on there, and also on Very True Social. At the end of the day, thanks so much for your time and your attention. My name is Asmi Hongos, and I'll catch you in the next one.